Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a good night. It is Tuesday. Made it this far. So we're just gonna drive. I know you want to see me drive this nice and pretty truck. So we're gonna dive into it and go some places. Let's see where we got to go here. Forget where we were. Oh, Joplin. Yeah, we're in Joplin. What do we got going from Joplin? TVs to Wyoming? Look at that. TVs to Wyoming. We might have to drive kind of slow. Northern Wyoming. Willikers. Wait a minute. What's this Illinois thing? Where did that come from? Wait a minute. Where did that come from? When did Illinois get here? I don't remember putting Illinois in there. I do not remember. From Joplin. When did Illinois hit the map? Am I missing something? I want to go, if we got anything going to St. Louis, that's where we're going. I want to see what happens when we try to go across the river. Actually, I think I saw one to Rolla. We'll take it and go there. We'll just run right up 44. There it is. Can't believe, unless somebody gifted it to me and I don't know it. That'd be a new one on me. Come on. Open it. Thank you. Ooh. There's a Joplin camera up here. You know we're going to check that out. This is the first time we've been through here. Next one. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Look, half a Corvette. The butchery. Okay. Good thing we didn't take that light pole out. Whole town was tore out by a tornado, what, 10, 12 years ago? They have rebuilt wildly. into the cheek. It's not Missouri Caverns. Where am I? Somebody had gifted me Illinois, I would have had to sign it in. You'd think they'd come in with the Dakotas and maybe Michigan first. Or Minnesota. Okay. Those quick results. Now, let's see if we can find something from Rolla to St. Louis. It'll be something short, so it'll be further down the line. Otherwise, I am just driving to St. Louis. Oh, we are just going to bobtail it to St. Louis. And see if we can get into Illinois. Can see what kind of jobs are in St. Louis. Oh, we'll find out when we get there. We'll run across the highway and grab some fuel. Hop on 44 East. this way, anywho. Get across the river if Illinois is open. 44 doesn't, but 44 ends in St. Louis. Let's say to continue east on Highway 70 on the new bridge until they come up with Lane. Yeah, we are downtown. There's downtown up ahead. Have to take the JB Bridge down south. Welcome aboard, Miracle Sexy. Hope you're having a good day. We're just checking out to see if Illinois is open. All of a sudden it's on my map. I want to see if I can get in there. There's the MacArthur Bridge. It's there. There's the popping up. They've got the Illinois exit shut. The Highway 40. Doesn't look like you can get over there yet. Since we're bobtail, we'll check out this camera. It'll be good around sunset. see Illinois over there. That building's being torn down. Might be one of the last places that it stays. That one to the left with the crown on top is the Pet Milk Building. That one right there in the front to the left of us. See, there's the Poplar Street Bridge. That's the one that we would take over into Illinois. That one right there. Okay, well, let's find a job. Seattle, Bozeman. That's a big one, a mobile screener out to Kingman. It's Tuesday and it takes till Friday to get it out there. I don't see it happening, but that'll definitely level us up. Straight across the desert. That's Highway 44 straight out. Let's take it. Yeah, we know. Motorcycle. What the hell is that? there. Nice old keep. Okay, we've only got 1,400 miles to go. Yippee. We got 1,250 in the tank. This baby is heavy. West, that's a Union. Man, we got there awful quick. Actually, I'd like to stop in here, but it's open. See what this SOB weighs. Just out of curiosity. You're not going to tell me what it weighs, are you? Yeah, that's nice of you. That's nice of you. Not too bad, not too bad. Driving around, all of a sudden Illinois is on the map, but you can't get into it, so I don't know what's up with that. I didn't hear anything about them releasing it, but it's on the map. Maybe it's coming up real soon. I went downtown and hopped on that little camera thing, and they show pictures of the Poplar Street Bridge going across the river now. They'll have to build a, well, no, there's one exit downtown from 4455 on to 40, so they'll have to open that up. But, I don't know. So how's it going over there? Having fun yet? We're driving to Arizona now. So a little bit of a long one, got a big arch load. Portable screener. Like one of those 7-pivot oversized load monsters. yard done yesterday? I did not. It's just... maybe doing mine today. We'll see how I feel after a big lunch. Maybe this evening. Got it done? Good job. Yeah, I thought about it. I mean, I lived out there long enough. I'd love to go back to Yuma and 29, both places where I live, just to see how much they've changed, but don't know how much I'd enjoy it once I got there, you know? LA probably hasn't really changed all that much since I was there. But how fast you went? Oh, yeah. That'd be nice. Shoot, you could probably do my front yard in 4 minutes or less. I've got I think a 22-inch push mower. And if I were able to go through the whole thing without stopping, without my legs giving out, I could probably do it in 30 minutes. But I stopped 4 times. I do the trimming, stop, start cutting, stop, start cutting more, stop, you know, that kind of thing. So it takes me about an hour. About 30 minutes of it I'm sitting. I've got one of those yards that has the rise in the middle of it, you know, like the steps of a brownstone, where my basement floor is on level with the street, but they built the yard up to, you know, the level of, and 5 steps up to my front door. Half an acre? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's about what Mom's got to cut too, and she does it with the same mower I've got. She'll spread it out over a couple of days. She'll do the front and one side, and then do the back, and then come back and do the other side. That's the way I would do it, only I'd have to stop 2 or 3 times. Last time I cut her front yard, it was thick though, and I was puffing and puffing to get through it. Dad and I said the hell with it a long time ago and bought a nice sized riding mower. And it was a joy to do. Mom's not of that ilk. In fact, she's only 86. She enjoys it. She won't let me do it. shoot, shoot. I'm going to pull over here and get the burn out of my eye. Is this a rest area? Oh, good. Perfect timing. I'm gonna be quiet for just a minute. says, good morning, everybody. She's in here with us. Stop. Okay. The Will Rogers Highway.
I'm tired of typing.
I can definitely understand that.
The boys are all settled down.
Really? So did you have to gas them, or
no, they actually they're actually gassing me. Yeah. They get both laying up here and they start passing gas. It's like,
yeah, that's it.
I keep telling Mama that's what's putting me to sleep. I'm sitting here.
And step up in the middle of the room, flip open your Zippo, and go, okay, one more time. Just one more time, and we all go up. I'm sure they'd love that.
Yeah, they've been out about 3 times this morning. They settled down and taking a nap here by the window. Wait, I'm waiting for it to get warm enough to open the windows back up. We had them open for a couple hours yesterday. I like that fresh air, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I open mine almost daily. I have a box fan blowing out the window in the kitchen in the back of the house, and then I'll open up the screen on the storm door on the front of the house and circulate, you know, throughout the whole house, except my office.
Heck, Mom went to bed about 8 o'clock last night. She was tired. I was exhausted from the weekend. I mean, you know,
oh yeah,
up late. It was a big weekend.
Yeah, one of those things too. I'll go in and lay down at, you know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. 1:30 in the morning, I'm still laying there thinking, okay, I could use a snack. Come in with a bunch of crepes. Sit down, eat through that. That's two trips to the can right there. You know, one of those things I'll nod off for an hour, wake up, oh, time to eat again, have a cheeseburger. I hate that.
It's like if you're up at 12 o'clock, man, it's like midnight lunch again, you know, you eat at 6.
Yep, exactly. I tried not to do that last night, knowing that I'm going to the buffet this morning, well, it's early this afternoon. And, yeah, those things are right. Almost like they had a little power blip last night or something. It looks like, well, no, they're not. My stream lights are bright. But, yeah, how it is, did I make a wrong turn? So I must have made a wrong turn. This got me making a big old hairy U-turn. That's not easy with this rig. Alright, what the hell? Where did I mess up?
I wonder when they're going to get Indiana in here. They're getting ready for doing Illinois. Are they going to go south into
Yeah, I don't know.
Alabama and stuff?
They still haven't done North and South Dakota. uh, or Minnesota. So, I mean, if they're working their way, strictly speaking, from west to east.
North Dakota, there's not much there.
No. But they've got Montana and Wyoming, which has, less population than St. Louis.
Mama loved North Dakota up there in that area in Wyoming because there was highways you run at 80. She thought that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
But she'd run at 90. I'm like, dude.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, there's times where I remember pulling off the side of the highway to use the facilities that weren't there. And like at sunrise or right before sunrise, you see headlights in the distance. And you keep seeing those headlights for a half hour. It takes that long for them to catch up to you. You can drive 45 minutes in between telephone poles. But yeah, there is nothing up there. Beautiful drive, like you say. When I first went out there, the first time, it was, out from here to Denver. Spent the night and most of the day with friends of ours there, and then I left at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening, and ran north up to Casper on the left and just kept on driving, and I pulled into Yellowstone at 8:30 in the morning. After a good night's driving with no sleep, to put on the backpacks and hike 6.5, almost 7 miles out to the campsite that we had. Slept like a brick in the middle of the night. No, I didn't. I sat around the damn fire almost all night, fearing bears.
Yeah, Yellowstone's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's a different world. You almost really have to experience that at least once in your life.
Oh yeah. The thing that got me, and I didn't think about it at the time, they tell you like 75 to 80% of the people that go to Yellowstone return to Yellowstone. They go a second time. Sure as shit. I went out there like maybe 7 years later, 6 years later, and did it again. Like I say, it is gorgeous.
And it's something, you have to experience the smell and everything too, because you stand there and it's something. The only thing I could compare it to was like, it's not a good comparison, but it's almost like you've been in a auto shop before with grease and oil in the drains and stuff. And you know how a mop bucket, if you don't clean it out, you got oil in it. It's almost got that oil, that I don't know, that
it's that sulfur smell,
fermented oil water mixture smell to it. Yeah, it's different. You see these people, these foreigners walking around, they got masks over their face, they're holding.
Yeah.
What got me to that place was sitting there in the van at one of those hot springs, and there was buffalo were walking around in the parking lot. A couple of them took the path up. I was looking right at it. It went up a hill, pretty steep hill. There's a cliff right there, right by that hot spring. And watched that buffalo walk, and you can see he was so close to the edge that he was kicking rocks off.
Crumbling in, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, how many of these things boiled to death,
And
how many of these
fall in? Yeah.
Yeah. Because that stuff's gonna cook you.
Yeah, I tell you what, your wife wants to visit Nashville. It's a good place. Take her to, what's that? Bass Pro Shop. It's like one of the largest freestanding pyramids in the world. It's glass. It's like, 7 stories tall. There's 2 hotels in it. I think they've even got a bowling alley in there.
We've
it's
been to
something.
Nashville
Have you?
back in 90,
Yeah, I've gone through there a few.
92. I had a relative that lived down there.
Or
And,
go like to Steamboat Springs in the wintertime, like to the Music Fest. It's like, it's pretty good. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, those places are gorgeous. Actually, the hills all down through Tennessee. We used to drive through there all the time, through Chattanooga and Nashville. I've been, last time was about 4 years ago. Last time I drove down to Florida. We go right through Chattanooga and Nashville, just outside of Memphis. And
Yeah,
it's, yeah.
it'd be my great aunt who we stayed with down there. She lived across the river from Reva McEntire estate. You could see her lights at night. We actually got to pull up to her gate. We went because we were into country music big time back then. And you could just pull up to her gate and take pictures and stuff like that. But that's when she had just got done building that $3 million horse stable.
Nice.
And we kept pondering that, thinking that the freaking horses are living better than most of us humans do.
Yep.
It's like all air conditioned. That's why we went to the Sonic. That was the first time I ever went to a Sonic, because we were told, hey, Reba, she comes up there and has ice cream cones at the Sonic right down the road.
Let's see if there's a way to.
We never saw her. Of course,
She probably goes on a certain day, probably.
I doubt. Yeah, I was gonna say I would doubt she's.
Well,
gonna
they did
just come
say
out
Wednesday.
And wave.
They did tell us Wednesdays were days that she was there, and that's one day we tried to make it happen.
A straight
But
bull.
I mean, we only there for a week, so. But yeah, we went to the Grand Ole Opry. Went to that. We took the boat ride. We even had tickets to. I can't remember what the show was, but I remember it was one of those country shows where they sat and did talking and music. We used to have the Muppet Red, or the Puppet Red. His name was Red. I can't remember the name of the show. But we sat in one of those. That was kind of interesting. It was a live.
Was it
broadcast.
one of them ones with
Rick?
JD McCoy where you sit down and eat and watch a show?
No, it was an
Dinner
audience
theater.
where they sit and hold up and look at the signs and hit say applause, or and say applause. You'd have to applaud. But it was a popular show. I just can't remember the name of it, but I remember it had the puppet Red. His name was Red. Trying to think who the host was. That was back in the 90s. But it was a popular TV show because my grandma and grandpa watched it religiously. And they were like waiting to see us because they said, when are you going to be on our show? And I don't know if it really, I think it was live if I remember. So, it should have been on TV that night. The night we were down there, but they never really panned the audience.
Not that you know of. And
The
if
Grand
they
Ole,
don't have you signing a release when you walk in, maybe not.
I don't remember signing it.
Well, read
remember
the
it.
fine
They-
print on the back of your ticket.
Yeah. But yeah, we went to, was it Opryland? That's where you had the boat rides and you go through. When we saw Diamond Rio, that was my wife's big event of it because it's just a small little auditorium, or what do you call them, things when they're outside. We actually were at the front seat. Diamond Rio was playing and she was all boo-boo about that because my favorite was I went to the Heat Hall store.
Right on.
Bought some Heat Hall.
Shoot, there were times at Authorized Appliance, if I was at the counter doing something and I saw somebody coming in from the parking lot, I would crouch down behind the counter, and then the door would open and I'd hear him come up to the counter, and I'd jump up and say Empty Arms Hotel, just to watch him, you know, panic. I used to love that. Remember the guy that played the barber? He would tell stories, and he would tell dyslexic stories. We used to just call him backwards when I was a kid. But, you know, like instead of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it was Woe Snight and the Dweven Snorse. You know, Metapransum Hints. You know, I mean, he'd do the whole thing, you know, dyslexic. Used to love that. And Junior Samples Auto Sales, BR549.
Yep.
That's where that band got its name. Mom was heavily into country for a long time. She was on a cruise ship, probably down in, you know, off the southern coast somewhere. And in the morning, she was up on the jogging deck. You know, they got like a jogging track up there, and ran into Brad Paisley. And of course, she dove on him. That's her favorite. Brad is just her yikes thing. And got pictures with him and whatnot. She had him blown up into posters on the deck of the cruise ship. It was cool. We sent her and her sister, my aunt, to see him in concert when he came through town, all that neat stuff. She knows how Tracy has Google something, you know, like an Alexa in her house, and if she's sitting there at the table and nobody's talking about anything, hey Google, play, you know, a Brad Paisley song, and it, you know, she'll sit there with stars in her eyes.
I remember watching that Hee-Haw show when I was a kid.
Oh,
used to sit and just wait for the where, oh where.
Oh God! Me and my friend Dan would sing that.
Kick out of it.
Same thing.
Why did you leave me here
today? If you're driving down the road, you know, 2-lane road through the middle of nowhere, and you come to a town, population 42, you stand up, salute. Every time. They always did that. They'd have like 6 people hiding in the cornfield, you know. We'd dedicate this part of the show to, you know, Ava, Missouri, population 12, and then 10 people stand up, salute.
Yep.
I still do that whenever I see a, you know, small population town sign.
How about Bitsu was about a 9/11 based out of Nashville for your chat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember here. About 2 years ago, there was a show my wife got into, and she got in, and my brother-in-law, I was telling you, he was into the show business stuff. He was doing wardrobe, and he worked on that show.
Oh,
and
okay.
he got her a actual signed jacket from that show. I can't remember what it was. It was either a cop show out of Chicago or a fire one. I think it might have been fire. It might have been fire one. She watched it. I never watched it. She got a signed jacket from this guy that's a star in it.
Is it Chicago FD?
I think so. I think it might be. I can't remember who was in it because, like I said, I didn't watch it. But he worked on the show and was able to ask the guy's sister about to have a signed jacket. But he bought the jacket. He signed it. And she's got it hanging up in the closet.
Very nice.
I don't even remember the actor. It was like one of the main, where all the women went goo-goo eyes over him. You know, that all went over goo-goo. All goo-goo about him.
Don't they always?
Yeah. Oh, my sister. Yeah. She went to California when she got out of high school. She took acting classes and stuff. And she's been in some shows. She was in Married with Children, one episode. She did a lot of Coke commercials. And then one of her big ones she had was on. Do you remember the show Kamish? The Kamish?
Oh yeah.
She was in that. She was actually one of the mob boss's wife in an episode, a couple episodes.
All right.
And she was in an emergency one too. I can't remember what the heck the name of that was, but she was became a regular. The people. I remember at the beginning of the show, they would always show people. They would have the EMS people, EMTs, whatever, would be running people into the. She got a regular, actual. It was a regular on it. Yeah. But you kind of got out of that. She owns a restaurant bar in LA now.
Very nice.
But yeah, she did a video with Bob Dylan. He was one of the actors in one of Bob Dylan's songs. He was weird, she said. He said they sat there all day long waiting for him to show up. Finally, he shows up, he comes out, sings his song, turns around, and walks off. Never said anything to anybody. He's just kind of weird like that.
You've heard that about some. You were speaking about the Muppets earlier. I don't know if you've ever seen a Star Trek spin-off called Below Decks. It's an animated cartoon Star Trek show. It's comedic. And
what's it called?
Below Decks. It's written more in like an upstairs downstairs kind of thing, where red shirts and yellow shirts kind of thing. And they've done a couple of crossovers where they went from animated to live action, to where they were actually on an episode, where they crossed them into an episode of like Enterprise or Strange New Worlds, something like that. And lately I heard yesterday, or saw a thing yesterday, where they just did another crossover where the entire episode is done with Jim Henson Muppets. All the characters are now, Muppets. They were all created in Jim Henson's facility where they make the Muppets. I can't wait to see that. They've done some pretty neat episodes like that. I remember I think it was on Next Generation where they did the Trouble with Tribbles crossover, where Picard and them went back in time to the time of the original series during the Tribble episode. They've done a bunch of crossovers like that before, and Below Decks has done a couple of them. Like I say, it's normally an animated cartoon, and they've done live action crossovers where they stepped into like a time portal kind of thing, and all of a sudden, zop, they're in the real thing. And the people that voice the characters in Below Decks played themselves live action, which is pretty cool. And they're people that you would know, actors that you would know, because they got real, not A-list, but you know what I mean, they got real actors to do the voices.
Yeah. Hey, I just looked up that Muppet I was talking about. It was this Shotgun Red was the name of the Muppet, and the show was it was a TNN series, Nashville
the
Now.
Nashville
It ran
Network.
from 83, ran from 83 to 93. So we went into 92, the end of '92. So yeah, we were there close to the end of that show.
I remember TNN back when I had cable before the streaming days, and the Nashville Network was a big player back then.
Shotgun Red.
That sounds familiar, like a bar that I had or something.
See if I get a video.
Shotgun Reds. I know I had a place over in Portage de Sioux right on the river called Reds Again. I don't know if there was a Reds originally and then they opened up another one called Reds Again. There was one downtown right across the street from my shop in Soulard called Schuster's, which was really cool. And it was ran by my grandfather knew the guy. His name was Red Schuster. And that's my mom's maiden name, Schuster. My grandparents who owned this house were Schusters. Yeah. My dad worked with a guy named Red Lord.
Did I say Red was a dog?
No.
Okay. I thought I referred to him as a dog, but he's not. He was a cowboy muppet.
That's what I
just
was
remember
picturing.
Red, but
yeah, that'd be Clifford.
yeah, I've got it. Yeah. Okay, just Clifford. Yeah, I just pulled up. There's an image of him.
Albuquerque. We go to Albuquerque, we're getting off and making a bunch of left-hand turns. We have to do that.
I'm having to take I-15 to I-70.
There you go. 70 is the way to run. I'm taking the south route from St. Louis over into Arizona.
Because right now, I'm going to stage my trucks anyway.
I remember just the other day that I built a whole new rig, tractor and trailer both, and I don't think I've driven them but 2-3 times. Zeke and I both built them, had matching trailers, matching to our tractors and whatnot, and ran them a few times, and I forget where I parked it.
Well, I'm going to stage mine because Illinois is fixing to come out in 2 days.
Okay, maybe that's why. I got it on this morning, and Illinois is there on the map, and I don't remember buying it. And so that's why I drove down to St. Louis to see if you could get across the bridge into Illinois, and you can't.
So basically, it comes out Thursday afternoon.
Ah, okay. That's that place. We're at the midpoint of Highway 66 right here. That camera over to the right is at the midpoint. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up. See what kind of mess they make of Chicago.
Dude, I know we're probably not going to get a lot of stuff like they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know. Illinois is quite honestly a very boring state to drive across. There's not much there, unless you're in,
South.
Chicago, Springfield. Not much of anything there. It's just flat ground. Everywhere there's an overpass, there's a pond. That kind of thing.
Well, what I heard that they're going to have more traffic to it.
Yeah, not in my convoy, they're not. Oof.
I'm going to say, if it was realistic, you probably couldn't even move down there.
You get
That's
on
horrible.
the Ronald Reagan Expressway in the morning and you're not moving. It's like trying to go around the 485 around Atlanta at any time of day. You're not getting through
So
there.
try to maneuver a 325-inch wheelbase in a 48-foot trailer.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, you find a lane and you don't have to say stick to it. You're not getting out of it.
I got one question, especially in the mountains. When you're on a toll road, what made them think that putting a tow booth always in a blind frickin' curve?
Yeah,
That's a good
that's
idea.
the best way to go. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed in the mountains when you're on a tow road, like when we go out, when we go to South Carolina and stuff like that, I think we had a tow road somewhere in, the hell is that? I'm trying to think what state that is. Either Virginia or something, I don't know. They put them damn things on a blind curve. Every one of them. And it's always blind to the right. Coming and going. Come back home, it's to the right. It's like they put it in an S curve.
Oh yeah.
Like they want people to like get killed and run into each other. Well, you know what's even coming up. You know, you got speed limits like 35 and all that stuff. But still, it's such a blind curve. Then you get around the curve, and then you got to look and try to figure out which lane you're supposed to go in. It says cash or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Figure
Yeah,
out which
like-
tailpipe to drive up
And they switch
when the
'em.
truck in front of you suddenly stops.
So
Yeah, and they
bas-
switch them. It's dynamic.
ba-
It's not like one static freaking cash lane or two.
So how my area works, we got toll roads down 44 and everything. Like, they just took out the cashless stuff, so they're gonna start sending us a bill in the mail when we go across the toll road.
Yep.
Yeah, we got
And-
that. We got that from up there in Chicago last time my wife. We got billed in the mail for it's like 40 some dollars time she got back home. It's like,
Mhm.
what the hell did you do?
I've had that
And-
when I've rented cars and driven down through Florida on the Florida Turnpike. When I went up to Chicago, there was another one. And they said, basically that it would be, well, since I'm in a rental, they send the bill to the rental company and then they bill you. And each time, I was never billed for it. And I checked my rental receipts and I watched my accounts, and the card that I'd put it on and everything else, and was never charged for the tolls. So I was like, okay, I'll do that again next time. And shoot, when I drove up to Canada and back, not one single toll the whole way up there and back. The only place was crossing the bridge into Canada. It was like $6 just to cross the bridge in Sarnia, Michigan, or is it Sarnia, Ontario? Well, anyway, crossing over that bridge, and you have to use a credit card. Couldn't use a debit card or anything else. Can't pay cash. So I put it on my Discover card, $6, just to cross the bridge into Canada.
Well, the toll road here in Indiana, 80, 90, was it 80, 90, whatever, 80, goes over from Chicago all the way over.
To Buffalo,
To the east.
90. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's a trick on that one. I don't know if it was just Indiana section of it or the whole toll road, but ours, I know it got sold to a freaking company in Australia.
Oh yeah.
And they were supposed to, when they bought that, they were supposed to improve it and all that stuff. They didn't do a what to that road.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they finally dissolved that contract. I don't know who's involved with it now, but I just tells you, the toll roads are just a joke.
They
Like-
now
Well, yeah,
90
it's like-
from Buffalo all the way over through Columbus, Ohio, is free. I didn't pay any tolls the whole way across. Like I say, down through Columbus, and then I just ran 70 the rest of the way back. But we had, was it here? It was either here or Chicago. I think it was Chicago. They were having huge deficit problems. Oh, there's another camera coming up here. We're going to take it. And the city sold basically the operational rights and everything for all of their parking meters in the city to this company in, like you say, either Australia or China or somewhere. And they would, that company was going to help with the money problems that the city was having. And within, I think, a year and a half, that company had, fulfilled its obligation and was making hundreds of millions of dollars a year off the city, which was just hilarious. Route 66, right on. A rest stop.
But let me guess, they were probably pocketing the money themselves, not improving nothing.
Oh, there was no improvement even in the contract. It was just one of those things where, here, let us, get the money out of your parking meters and we'll take care of your money problems, your deficits in the city. And they did that. And within 2 years, it was all paid off to what they'd agreed to, and then everything from then on was theirs. And so the city had basically given up, hundreds of millions of dollars over the period of 8 or 9 years, which was just a huge mistake as far as a business deal to make. But
I know, what people are battling right now in my area. They're trying to build a toll road right there where a housing addition place is.
that sounds the best of intentions. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, they're trying to make some people move out of that place so they can build the toll road.
Yeah, the old eminent domain thing. Gotta love it.
Which are free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say they'll give you fair market value 20 years ago for your property.
Yeah, when we found out that they were going to be building a bypass around my town, that didn't happen either. Everybody started selling some of their property right there, and that road's never came in. I knew right away that bypass was never going to happen.
If you think about it, when the bypass is planned, people start selling off all their property because all their business traffic's going to go through the floor. You're going to lose it all. And so the property values drop. Everybody sells out, people buy it up. Then they cancel the bypass and the property values go right up through the roof again. And the people that just bought it really low now sell it really high. Real estate speculation makes you money. That's how they do it.
Speculation is more like manipulation.
Speculation is what has our gas prices up so high right now. It's not
Did
that.
you know?
It's actually, if you think about it, we get 80% of our fuel comes out of Canada. Now, I don't think that there's anything to do with Iran that has, any problems between us and Canada.
I read one article.
So,
I read
you
it. I read it last night. It was
Mhm.
saying that the only state in the United States that's reliant and relying on oil that comes through the
Strait
Strait,
of Hormuz. Yeah,
yep, is California,
sure.
and that kind of makes a lot of sense because that's why California gas has always been higher than everybody else. That
And
kind of
you
like
know,
gels together.
you know how odd that is, because California is one of the largest oil producing states in the country. Honest. Drive to LA and you can't get drunk and fall down without hitting your head on an oil derrick. You know, on a
Yeah.
pump. They're everywhere. They're in people's backyards. They're all over the place. I mean, all over. Look at
Well, we
the,
got a lot of oil
you
here.
know,
There's
the
no reason for
oh,
us to buy foreign oil.
Yeah,
There's no reason.
we're one of the largest producers in the world. If you look at the history of LA, you'll see pictures of Los Angeles back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, where it is just oil derricks as far as you can see. I mean, thousands and thousands of them. They're everywhere. And why would it be so high? I don't understand that. I really don't.
Well, America, we've always went for the concept is I'll scratch your back, but don't worry about it. You don't have to scratch mine.
Yeah.
You know.
Dad used to say it was one of those do unto others and get the hell out of there before they can do it back to you.
Yeah. That's a good concept.
Mm-hmm.
But like I always tell people, like the tariff thing that's going on, not to get political here too much, but if you're against tariffs and you're whining about the tariffs, then stop whining about paying taxes.
Oh, yeah. Tariffed on everything.
Tariffs would eliminate a majority of our taxes.
Yeah. Well,
If you go back back to the 40s even, we didn't have income tax. As far as it go back, something like it was around World War II. Somewhere like that. We didn't have income tax like we do now.
right.
And we had road structures. We had infrastructure. We had railroads, roads, sidewalks,
Mm-hmm.
everything we got today. But we didn't pay for it because tariffs paid for it for us. We got to get off the boat of and get back into the game again, because that's what the tariffs are going to help us. I
Well-
know it sucks. It hurts right now because they're changing and everything. But
Well, yeah. But I mean, look at the history of it. I mean, how much tariff do we pay other countries for goods that we import from them?
exactly.
I mean, we get a lot of dairy products from Canada. And if you were to look at the tariff that is on, let's say for conversation's sake, a gallon of milk that's coming from Canada into the United States, it's probably around 17%. Okay? Now, if we wanted to charge 10% going out, people lose their minds. I mean, absolutely lose it. If we wanted to, even it up, everybody goes absolutely bizarre thinking, okay, you're just taking advantage. Well, what's been happening all this time to us?
Yeah, and plus the United States is in debt too.
Mm-hmm. And just,
Which is insanity to think that that's even possible.
right.
All the stuff we do, give,
Well,
aid, and everything, and we
that's part of it.
are in debt.
That's part of it. Because we'll go into debt to give money to other people because there are people that get kickbacks from that. I mean, you hate to say it. Well, there's, like with Big Pharma. Remember, pharmaceuticals ran the AMA. And if you wanted to be a successful doctor, you had to go by what the pharmaceutical companies said. We want you to sell this product. If you don't, we'll take your license away, or we'll make it to where you can't work. You won't be part of the American Medical Association. It's not going to happen. we won't let you because we run it. We finance it. You know, so hey, sell this. And you see it all the time. I saw it recently where I have a maintenance inhaler and a rescue inhaler, right? And the rescue inhaler, they've started coming down on because the companies have come out with different versions of the maintenance inhaler that I take, the Symbicort. And now all of a sudden the doctors have changed their tune altogether. They used to say, don't take, you know, more than the prescribed amount of the Symbicort, you know, don't use it as a rescue inhaler. Now, all of a sudden, within the last year, they've changed their tune. You know, we're not going to let you have the rescue inhaler as much anymore. Your doctor might, you know, prescribe, you know, that you get one inhaler a month. You know, there's so many on there, yada, yada, yada. Now they're saying you can only have 2 every 6 months.
I agree with that.
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
Bit of a cheek. Did you try to call me, what, yesterday?
Like Friday or Saturday or something. Saturday, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was, I was like right in the middle of a nap, and I was like, nope.
Sorry.
Oh, no. It's, how were you tonight, right?
I was surprised because everybody was like, nobody was around. No, it was Sunday. Sunday I rang. Was it Sunday? Oh, I can't remember what day it was. It was Sunday, I think, because I was like, where's everybody at? Because it was like 12 o'clock Eastern. And I was like, well, you guys are normally playing Greyzone at that time. Where's everybody?
Oh, yeah. It was Mother's Day, and Zeke was going out to visit his family. He was talking about doing a van stream for the run out there.
Fair enough.
And, of course, I was in here at 7 o'clock, 6:30, watching.
Well, I slept in a little bit because I didn't know what we were doing for Mother's Day, you know?
Yeah.
I got a text from my mom while she was at church. She was like, get ready, blah, blah, blah. And,
11 minutes.
but we didn't go out to eat. We just ate what we had at home, though.
Do you back home now? Big guy? Oh, he split.
He
That
gone.
one. Irish goodbye.
There he is.
Yeah.
No, I'm here still. No, I'm in the States still. I fly back tonight.
Oh, okay.
What the heck happened over UK? I heard there was some kind of a terrorist attack. So you're still in the
Was it?
States. What? There was something that popped up about a terrorist attack,
I haven't seen
Man.
anything.
and we had some jackass shooting at people in Massachusetts, I think it was.
Well.
Did you see that? The guy, look, I'm sorry, I question everything. The guy he's got this, it looks like an AR-15 or whatever, short barreled, and he is shooting it with his left hand, like he's left-handed, and he's got it shouldered on his right side, and he's shooting, and every time he shoots, the gun just like picks up, and it's
Yeah, smacks him in the
it's like
forehead.
if you're going to have a guy on there to demonstrate an attack like that, why don't you show somebody that knows how to use a freaking gun? It's like, what kind of crap was that? You have to see it. You'll see it. It was in Massachusetts.
Yeah, the gunman was spoiled by self-induced idiocy.
And it's like, first of all, I'm surprised the guy even knew how to load it. The way he was
Maybe
shooting.
not. He might have had his friends loaded for him.
Yeah, he had it shouldered loosely to his right shoulder, had his left hand shooting it, and his right hand was holding, the forestock.
You know, I've seen my friend Dan is left-handed. He swings a golf club and a baseball bat, right-handed. But he uses a left-handed grip. He's cross-handed,
That's
which
interesting.
is just weird. I mean, if you're used to, say, swinging a bat right-handed, try it with a left-hand grip. You know, instead of your right hand being up further or down the club further, switch them around and see how well you do.
Mhm.
Dan gets out there with a baseball bat, cross-handed. You toss the ball to him, you're not going to see that ball again. Same thing. He gets up to the tee. We used to go to the driving range all the time, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, something's wrong. Crack. What the? And the ball disappears. You know, in flames.
Gone to Mars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Herman Munster kind of shit. You hear the as it takes off, right?
I've got a story to tell you all. I've had 2 rental cars this trip.
What'd you wreck the
One
first
broke
one?
down.
Right,
Yeah.
insurance.
Guess
Say
what it
Lisa
was?
Let you drive it. I mean,
Guess
hey,
what
why
it was?
not?
Anyone? Any guesses? Any guesses? It was a mid-size SUV.
Mid-size SUV.
Mid-size. It was a Ford Escape or Explorer.
Yep. Yeah, Ford Escape.
Mm-hmm.
It had a low battery, a failing alternator.
Oh,
It only
yeah.
had 40,000 miles on the clock. Absolute disgrace.
Well,
Those things happen.
they should check that stuff before he even goes out.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
The exciter coil can go bad on one of those things in a mile. I
So
mean,
now we've got a
seriously.
Chevy. Now we've got a Chevy Trailblazer.
Oh God, that's
See, the
even
Ford-
worse.
See, the Fords are one of the top selling because they're cheaper than the GM trucks and stuff.
Ah.
But here's where Ford gets you. Their parts become obsolete within a year of whatever the manufacturing date is.
I don't know.
That was a crazy thing because it's like, well, yeah, because when I used to deal in automotive and stuff and get Fords in, it was always the same story. Well, there's only one of those alternators left in the United States, and it's down in Texas. It's like
You have to get
Uh,
3,000.
they
do me a
don't make their
favor,
money
Bled.
selling their vehicle; they make it on parts.
Bled. You probably already knew this. Jordy's dad has his entire career in Ford Motor Parts.
No, not his entire career. He's only been in parts for like 7 or 8 years now.
Oh, okay.
No, 7 or 8. Before that, he was a salesman. Got a salesman with Ford.
Okay.
Well, I'm not
no,
kidding. It was a
I know,
common
no, I'm
occurrence.
kidding.
No, it's all
It's
good.
like-
It's all good. But it's funny though that you say that because Ford, I think, used to have either now they use wet belts, but before that they didn't. And that it's cheaper or something. Didn't it? Yeah, that's Ford.
But yeah, when you say you've moved into a Trailblazer,
Yeah.
that sucks. I mean, from a mechanic standpoint, never, ever buy one. Rent one, fine, because you're only going to have
New
it for
ones?
a week. Yeah,
Absolutely.
don't ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's so
'cause
uncomfortable. It's
They
like
have
GM
problems
has
with
there's
the cam phasers in those things are horrible. The chain guides in those things are horrible, and you're talking, it's a technical total. And I mean, you'll get 50, 60,000 miles out of them, but that's about it.
yeah, this one's only got 7,000 on the clock.
Yeah. It's,
well, the thing about Ford and Chevy. Well, I know there's Dodge too. Don't leave them out. But
Mhm.
Chevy. I remember when I was teaching a Chevy dealership there in Kendallville. The tech, I went over to ask him what he was doing with the transmission. It was a brand new vehicle, and he says, "Oh, these things are junk." And I can't remember what the number was of the transmission, but it was a Ford transmission.
Mhm.
They were putting
Why not?
Ford transmissions in the Acadas or one of them that had old. And I'm not blaming Ford on this, but I'm just saying
No, you can say
where
anything.
things that
about
went
Ford,
astray is that they're using another one is like the Buick Regal. It was made in Germany, the newer one. They just
Yeah.
totally have destroyed American and just anybody,
Yeah,
you bought a
manufacturing,
car
I think.
that was
Yeah.
American or European or whatever it was. It's all mixed match shit. Like,
Yeah.
Well, the problem is now is a lot of them share the same parts,
Oh,
or they're
yeah.
built on the same chassis,
yeah,
or
engines,
etc.
transmissions.
So it's like you buy a
my-
Ford, but really you're buying a Ford car with a I don't know, Chevrolet engine or
And a
Chevrolet
Pininfarina body.
transmission. Yeah, do you know
My
what I mean? Like
Cobalt SS, my Cobalt SS has a Saab transmission.
see what I mean? Saab doesn't even exist anymore. At least I don't think it does anyway.
No, not the automotive side. They're still in aircraft, but not an automotive.
I thought they got rid of that as well. I thought they were bankrupted.
No, they're still
still around.
operating aircraft.
that out. But yeah, it's the first time we've had a car go bad on a vacation. So we've been coming here for what eight time. This is the 8th time now. So it's it's bound
What
to
is
happen at
that?
some point.
Damaged
Those new,
basketball.
trail, those new
Bell?
trails bellies
PC.
are a nice looking vehicle.
Yeah, I'm frightened of them. A lot of mechanics, just vehemently.
No, he sees one on the road. He just like closes his eyes.
Oh no!
Puts his
Well, I
hand
mean,
up.
it's not to that extent. Like, I remember one time, I don't know if it was at a car show, but I saw a Pinto, and they had done a flame
All
job
right, yeah.
on it.
Okay,
Right
okay.
now, instead of having the flames coming back from the front fenders, it had the flames going forward from the back of the car. Right, which I personally thought was absolutely hilarious. Because they were known, they put the gas tank in between the bumper and the rear end. So if you got rear-ended in comedy movies, if you so much as got tapped from behind and you were in a Pinto, you were gone in flames. So they did the flame job backwards. That was hilarious. I love
I'm
that.
gonna be,
Now remember the Bronco, before they did the Escape, they had a thing where they could roll over if you so much as looked
God,
to
yeah.
the side.
My dad had one of those Bronco 2s.
Yeah.
And I remember
And
coming home one night, my dad was drunk. I was riding with him from a local bar, and he was driving 90 miles an hour that thing, and I'm like, oh my God, what the heck?
We're
Yeah.
dying. They're dying.
oh, Daddy, we're all gonna die.
Took the
Yeah.
off ramps, and that sucker, I swear, the two wheels on my side was coming off the ground.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, right?
And I mean,
it
they rolled easier than like a Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah.
You know, which is 19 feet tall and 2 feet wide. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
Leaning Tower of Suzuki. Anyway, I'm going to be going for like a few minutes because I got to go downstairs and get an Uber Eats delivery, but then I'll be back in like 10 minutes or so.
Righto.
All right. Yeah, I had my first vehicle was a 67 Kaiser Jeep, but it was lifted and had big balloon tires on it.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about that, that's where the gas tank fill was right behind the seat
Mm-hmm.
on the driver's side. The thing was so
Yep.
short wheelbase that when I took a sharp, I didn't even have to be going any miles an hour, but I turn it right to the left, then full, and then turn.
The gas
back
had come out.
the back wheel would come off. Like
Oh,
if I was
yeah.
turning left hard, just in a parking lot, back left wheel would come off the ground.
Yeah, my friend Dave had a Rabbit that did that in fairly hard turns. It turned into a three-wheeler. A gal that I went all through school with, she got one of those Jeep Renegades, like in the bicentennial era. It was a red, white, and blue version of it, you know. And she rolled it at like 25 miles an hour. And it wasn't lifted or anything. You know, she just took the turn too darn fast. Right in our neighborhood. You know, going around a curve. And, you know, from one street, making a left onto another street and just blam, put it on its side. Everybody freaked out. Like,
Those,
oh, look at it.
The cam phasers you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, 90% of the time, the cam phasing goes bad is people that don't take care and do oil changes.
Right.
The damn valves in there, they got a fine screen and they get plugged up.
Yep.
And you know, that's, like I said, I know GM's had problematic problems with them, but every time they've come in, it was because if you look inside the engine, they didn't change the oil.
Right.
And you could put new ones in, and until it breaks all that sludge down, it's going to have a problem, you know, forever. It's like,
Yeah, flush them with ATF and kerosene.
yeah,
That'll help cut that. And I've also seen where a lot of the guides, the tensioners, are oil pressure fed. So
Yes.
if you lose oil pressure from the same thing, from lack of maintenance, to use a broad brush, they won't keep tension on it. and that leads to premature wear on everything.
Yep.
Both the guides, the chain,
Gears,
the sprockets. Yeah, everything goes.
Oh, it's beating
I've
the hell out
always
of it.
been afraid of overhead cams, just for that reason. I know they're a lot more efficient. I know they can rev higher, but I've just always been frightened of them. I don't know why. And I had an OHC 4.6 that was a good running motor, real good running motor in my 95 Grand Marquis. I had a DOHC 1.8 in my 200 SX. That thing ticked like a sewing machine, but it ran like a top. I mean, I've had them, but I can't think about it. If I think about it and I know it's there,
I stay away from the belt-driven ones. Now the Honda Odysseys have the belt, and you got to change those out every 120,000 miles.
right.
But if it's chain, I don't have a big problem with it because I mean, like the Cobalts, they had chain driven, yeah, and they run about it. Yeah, it isn't. You got the chain or the belt.
Right.
Belts
Yeah.
have always scared me because
My Nissan was a belt drive, and I replaced it. That's when I started having to buy. I think I bought my first T45 just for that, just for doing that belt, and it was a piece of cake to do. It was an afternoon job, but I don't know. Never really thought about it with the belts. I mean, I know there were a lot of shops, they put their kids through college doing timing belts on Escorts, and water pumps.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That Escort I had when I souped it up with the special vehicle operation kit in it. I put new belts in it. I kept worrying about that because I had, that cam had a hellacious duration and higher lift.
Yeah.
Where it was, I had the dial kit on it and everything. Yeah, back then, I don't think I was that educated in, I was young, just got through automotive school, and everything else like that. But belts, they're just not forgiving. I mean, especially if the tensioner is oil driven. Oh my God, if that thing gives out, you got a little slack in there.
That and the proximity. You get coolant on that belt and it won't last.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky you get 40,000.
And there's zero clearance engines too. That's the
Oh yeah. Yep. I was gonna say, you lose that belt. I mean, like catastrophically, it breaks. Yeah, the motor's cached.
Yeah.
Say you're turning 3,000 RPMs and you lose the cam and the valves are stuck open basically. It's gonna stop. It's gonna stop quickly. It's like locking up the e-brake, man. Things happen very fast. I remember just in the small block Chevy in my 68 SS Rally Sport coming down the 5 in LA, and it sucked. It was the middle of the night. And I'm running, 60, 70 miles an hour down the highway, and tore the lobe, one of the lobes off the cam. And I mean, from running smooth to a flat tap in 10 seconds. I mean, it was just that fast. And I thought, okay, it fouled a plug. I don't know how, but it fouled a plug. And it's 11:30 at night, and even in LA, you're looking for anything that's open, and there's not much. I mean, hell, we were still buying oil in cardboard cans,
Yeah.
And I'm sure I was probably looking for a place where I could buy some oil, but it was, oh God, a while. I had moved out to I drove it that way, quite honestly, for quite a while. drove it out to 29 palms before I swapped out the cam and put a regrind into it. That was when I first started working on small block Chevys, to the point of I went to remove the cam and it wouldn't come out. I mean, like, physically, I could not get it out of the block. All the lifters are out, yada yada, and I forgot to take the drive, the fuel pump drive off, or drop it out the side of the block. And it's one of those, oh God, whoa, dude, that was nice. What you must think of me. Like, the second biggest mistake I could have made, I probably beat the shit out of the journal. At least I didn't screw up a cam bearing. But yeah, I felt like a complete fool. One of those, the cam won't
GMs
come out.
I think, I might be mistaken on this, but the 1.6, one of those engines, the direct injection, it's got the high volume pressure fuel system.
Yeah.
They run that off the lobe off
the cam, right?
And especially if people don't take care of do the oil changes, it wipes that lobe off. We got several of those in the last place I worked that would come in, and it's like,
and they're starved.
Well, we'll just replace the camshaft. Well, I'm saying, no, really, this engine needs to be flushed. I mean, it needs to be taken out and flushed or drop the pan, which
big time.
I think the engine. But I said, where's all that metal at? You have to tell the customer, where's all that metal at? It's down in your pan and throughout your engine. Up on the other, lifter lobes and everything else, that stuff gets circulated around. But yeah, that was a big deal with some of those GM engines that I do. Because it come in and it would be a drivability issue. It would be like it'd fall on its face. Couldn't accelerate. If you pull that pump off, look down there, and you see the lobes white. Yeah. Back in the old days in a small box, we had the little pump that's on the side, and the arm thing that rode on the cam was softer than the cam, so you would never really wear the cam out. You'd wear the arm off, maybe. Usually the pump failed before that.
Just drop it out of there, put the block off plate on there, and strap a click clack somewhere.
Remember the little rod? That was always fun. We used either an EOS, but basically an assembly lube to have to keep that rod up there to put that.
Actually,
get that pump on there to get that freaking rod to stay in place. It just fall out on you every time.
If you look at them at the block, there is a bolt boss that goes into the channel that shaft slides in, and you can pull the screw out of it and run a longer screw into it, and it'll hold it. Almost every block, small block Chevy that I've worked on has had that, where you can use your thumb and push it up to the cam and then just tighten that screw down, with a 1/4-inch drive. You don't want to gouge the damn thing, but just run it in there and give it, a little snug tight, and it holds it there. You just got to remember, once you've got the pump on there and you're free to go, pull that screw back out and put the original screw back in that doesn't go that deep. It's like in the 4L60Es, in the valve body of that thing, there are 2, 3, 4, I think 5 screws. They're 8mm versus the 10mm that are almost a 1/2 inch longer than the rest of them. And if you use them in the wrong place, it'll actually go up into where the bands are at. I mean, it will physically screw the transmission. That's, that's
they've done that.
101.
They've done that with the engines, like the Chevy Cruze, the 1 point, whatever the hell they're putting in that, I can't remember these numbers, but to do a timing belt or timing chain, timing belt, I know, I'm trying to remember, timing chain, the chain, same. But anyways, the kit you got to do those to hold the crank. Basically, there's a like a flywheel. You remember the flywheel wrenches, but it's got teeth on it. You have to mount it to the transmission to stop the crank from moving.
Yeah.
Some of them also have where you have to run the bolt in the front there, and it goes up and goes into, if you got it set right, top dead center and everything, there's a bolt that runs into the crank. There's a slot in one of the throws. You run that in and it holds that crank in place. Certain models do that. I'm not sure how many people have forgot about, I've done those and cranked that thing and forgot to remove that. A kid out of there, just shear the frick out of the bolt, or break off a big chunk of the throw of the crank. But yeah, they've got some crazy stuff that they've come up with the years to do these things. Then you had the holders that went up on the cam. They had little teeth on them, or you had little pins. I remember the quad 4 engines. I was actually one of them. Well, I'm pretty sure I was the first one to ever tear one of those apart, because they put them in the Skylark. And I worked for Buick that time. And I had to go home. This car came in, and this is where the early versions cracked the heads back by the exhaust manifold and leaked coolant. Well, I swear I got the first one here in Fort Wayne, because I called around all dealerships, and none of the guys in their shop that did engine repair had ever done one yet. And I had to go home and literally tape. GM would send you a kit with a tape with the tools and everything you needed to do that job. I had to go home that night and watch a freaking video on how to take this thing apart. And but yeah, that it has like little dial pins. Now over the years they said, hey, you can use a couple drill bits this side. But it basically was 2 pins that was on a cable hooked together, and you had to put them into the cam gears, into a hole into the head for the front cover to hold the cam gear.
Right.
You knew you were in time.
Yeah, you were indexed. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm convinced I was one of the first. I was probably the first, because there was nobody. I called all the Chevy dealerships, the Oldsmobile, all those. None of the guys that did engines had to do it yet. God dang it.
You wonder. I mean, I remember when I was doing that cam job, and it was the first time I had. I mean, I had a friend of mine help me get the hood off of it, and that was it. And I mean, it was one of those things, I'd go to pull the heads off, and I reach across, grab it, pull as hard as I can, my feet go flying in the air, my forehead's against the damn rocker arm bolts, because I didn't know those things weighed 45 pounds a piece, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
By the time I got done, there's a short block, and behind me on the floor is this huge pile of parts. I'm like, okay. So I hopped on my motorcycle and went to the auto parts store and bought how to hot rod a small block Chevy, and there was another small block Chevy, what I called at the time my Bible, and basically sat down and read both of them cover to cover numerous times. One of them stayed on the tank of the toilet forever. Got to where I can quote you every clearance, every number, every dimension, everything, and went back out and did it. And while I was at it, that's when I bought those camel hump heads. Got a reground cam, put it together, and it ran fine. It's just every time I slowed down into a left-hand turn is when I found out that number 2 cylinder had a frozen oil ring in it, because it turned into a mosquito fogger. So I'm like, okay, time to build a motor, and it was handy because I had found a 79 Berlinetta, and it came from here in St. Louis, wildly enough. The guy that I bought it from in California bought it when he lived like less than 5 miles from my house, but it had a 305 in it, that was kind of trash. It was, you know, it ran, but the tranny was shot. It was a TH350. So I gave my 68 rolling chassis to a friend of mine that had a 3-stall garage, business. And he let me use one of his bays for like a month while I built this 79. I built the motor, and he gave me a transmission out of like a 75 Monte Carlo that was sitting in his yard out back, and it worked. And took a loan against a life insurance policy and dropped almost 10K into a motor, which was fun as hell. And that motor runt quite a few cars, in fact. It was a good run. I overcammed it. I did went way too far. It shouldn't have been streetable. It was just Comp Cam's Magnum 280, which was 280 was a square cam, 284 side and 485 both sides. It had a real aggressive idle to it, which I loved. But it only came on from 28 to 6. So on the street, It wasn't the smartest thing in the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I built the piss out of that thing. Those 041 heads got all new Moroso stainless valves, screw-in studs, rollers, the whole 9 yards. And the best thing about doing that whole motor build, I had it done at a little machine shop in 29 Palms. It was ran by a guy that was like 90 years old, but he knew his shit. He'd forgotten more about, machining a small block Chevy than I would ever learn. But he let me help him do the whole thing because we were doing it in my off time when I wasn't on duty. It was when I was in the Marines. And it's over there. So, when it came time to doing the head work, I did the head work. I pulled the old rocker studs and machined for the new ones. I did the valve jobs for the new valves and lapped them all in. I did all that work myself. I did all the gasket matching, everything. I assembled all the piston rod assemblies. Those were L2304Fs, 10.5 to 1 forged TRWs. Just every bit of it I did. And it did not take. Okay, let's do this again. Should have probably hit the T button. It was like going to Vatterott. And I got to build my own motor, which was just too cool. And
I came up with
was lucky.
I came up with something a couple years ago that I questioned. You know how you got cars that are collectibles and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
The Grand National, you remember that car?
Absolutely.
Okay. I worked for Buick during that time when that came out. You remember the Grand National?
Mm-hmm.
They only made 500 of them. It was the
like the
GNX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they only made 500 of them, and they'll put the number on the dash.
Right.
Of the number. Well, I was just searching one time. It was a couple years ago, and I distinctly remember putting a turbo on a 003.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking that car up, searching it. And what I found is that car is like worth a fortune now.
Oh,
because
yeah.
here's what they're saying. Now, and this could be true. I don't know what the mileage is on that car. I don't remember them saying. But they said that 003, and the first one, I don't think the first one ever hit the road or something. What happened to it, I don't know, 1 and 2. But 3 is, they're saying, was never sold and never driven. And I got to looking into it, and it's like, okay, and I got to thinking, okay, I know right back in my head that I worked to put a turbo, because the turbos would go out on them,
Yeah.
especially the earlier ones. It was known for the Grand Nationals because they would just turn into a fog machine.
Right.
And
Yeah, they had
you
oiling
had
problems on them too.
placed a shitload of them on all the Grand Nationals, GNXs, or
Yeah.
there's a T-Type too. Remember, there was the
Oh, yeah.
T-Type, which is
A friend of mine
actually
had
was
one of those.
a faster car, believe it or not.
His was
so-
because he pulled out the V6 and dropped a 454 into it, but that's another story.
But the T-Type had something to do with, I don't know, the weight or something. I don't know. It was an underrated, T-Type was underrated in my opinion. But anyways, back to the 3, I kept thinking to myself, I know that. So now, the only thing I can think of, if they're telling the truth about that car, and it's never was stolen and never driven, and it's always been in a showroom. And Tom Kelly was he was in, big cahoots with Buick and all that stuff. I wonder if it was not a friend of his in the business that they sent that car down and had us work on. Because that's the only way I can think of that story's true on their end. And my story on mine is, I'm not smoking crack here or...
Well, if it was never
I
sold and
haven't-
never driven, that would lend credence to like either a Trailer Queen show or a museum piece.
But I put a turbo on. It's like, I mean, I don't know if I know they failed, but Jesus, if it wasn't driven that much, you wouldn't think that turbo would fail. But, the oil seals, it's what went out on them. It would start,
Yeah,
sucking
cracking up. Yeah.
into the exhaust, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I still stand by my story that I worked on that car because I remember the guy that worked beside me says, he said something about, he made a comment about, this is 003. That's the earliest one we've ever seen any. And you get to work on it. I'm like, okay, back then
Yummy.
all I did was I was just a younger guy and did, okay, whatever.
Hello,
Just
I'm
another
back.
turbo. But anyways, that's the story on that. I would like to be able to pull that together, but it doesn't really matter.
Well, I
But
tell
I
you,
found that
that
interesting.
guy's T-Type was a riot of a car. Like I said, I remember I rented a house from the guy. Last name Barry Smith was his name, and I knew he was a chassis engineer for Moog, and he worked in development, for suspension components. And he's like, yeah, I got this T-Type. It was his daily. And he popped the hood, and I'm like, whoa, big block. Okay. And yeah, he told me, it had a probably like a TH350 in it with the big block, and he had put like an 8-inch converter in it to where it was like a 3,500 stall speed. But it was an RV cam in a big block. I was like, why would you do that? This thing's not going to start tugging until you're turning 2,500, 3,000 RPM. Go with a stock converter on it. You might enjoy some of the torque that this thing builds off idle. So he did it. I don't know why he would take my advice.
Yeah, you're just a nobody.
Yeah. And he came over and took me for a ride on it, and we pulled up to 55 northbound somewhere here. At the top of the ramp, he stopped, and he's like, check this. And he nailed it, and we were still smoking the tires to 65 miles an hour getting on the highway.
Yeah.
And I mean, that
Yeah,
thing flew. And what was
I-
wild about it, I hadn't seen him for a number of years. And at work, I was at Jiffy Lube getting my oil changed in my van, in my work van, because, well, I got my oil changed every week. I would drive 3,000 miles. And there was a T-type in the next bay. And I walked over, they had the engine lift, the hood lifted, and I was like, son of a bitch, that's his car. So I found the driver, and I chatted up with him. Oh yeah, I just bought it like a year ago. It runs like a striped ass ape, that kind of thing. I was like, well, yeah, it does. And I gave him a little bit of a backstory on it. Barry, when he got done with that, last I talked to him, he had moved right down the road over here. He bought a Corvair and did a mid-engine Corvair. He put a 327 in the back seat, and it had a doghouse like an IO in a boat. And evidently, it ran on a stock transaxle because the input shaft on those things are hollow. And basically, what you do is you run a crankshaft, like an extension off your crankshaft, through the entire transmission to the very back of it, to the input where the 6-cylinder bolted up to it, and then, so on. So you can use the original transaxle for the V8. And, I mean, it was hilarious. You couldn't hear yourself think inside it. And he was saying it was quite possibly the most frightening vehicle he had ever driven. And I can't imagine why. I mean, because they were, deadly at any speed, is the way, what's his name said about them. And I've driven them before. Couldn't get one stuck in the desert. My friend Todd Zill had one when I lived in 29 Palms, and we tried to get it stuck. To the point we were out in the desert, out in 29 Palms, and one of the carburetors caught fire. And we put it out. We didn't have any water. We put it out with sand. I mean, like scooping it up off the ground and throwing it at the carburetor, and finally put it out. And I know we were dragging sand down into that thing, but it ran enough to get home, and I don't know what he did to clean it out. I borrowed it once or twice to go to work. And the only time that thing was drivable was around turns. Going down straight stretches, you were, all over the road.
Fighting the thing kind of thing.
Yeah, it was impossible to keep it straight, but once you put it into a turn, it was fine. Now, it could have just been that the alignment was 3 feet off, that kind of thing. It might have had, 120 inches of toe out. I don't know. But it was frightening. But it was a cute little thing. The only time I've ever been in one of those, besides Barry's.
The fun back to the Grand National. The fun story I got on that one was I just got done putting a turbo on it, and I was going out for the test drive. Well, the dealership that I worked at, you went out the garage, down a steep ramp to an alley, turned to the left, and then on a road to the right. And it was just, the light was right there onto a main one-way street to the right. And it was Clinton Street. And I got in that thing, and I didn't realize the guy had a shift kit.
Yeah,
and basically, remember the kids put the plastic check balls in there, replaced with steel ones, and springs, and you did some finagling, and it would
take
shift
out the orange string, put it in the blue, and it'll hold first gear up to 4K, and then shift. Yeah,
it's like, and instantly, not glide, but instantly. Well, that instant when I turned, it's a one-way street. The road had just cleared, and my light had not even turned green yet. Because those one-way streets pulse. You got traffic, then you don't. I freaking take a right turn, and I'm like, before I got out of the turn, got into it, and it busted loose a little bit because it was in first gear. But when it hit second gear, I was looking the other way down the runway.
It comes around.
Street. Yeah, it spun around. And I've got traffic coming at me from downtown Fort Wayne, just a whole lineup. And I'm trying to get this car turned around, panicking, and I get on it
Yeah.
because I don't want them, and I get on it and it about busted loose again. I'm like, oh, yeah, this car.
You're just spinning in
And-
circles,
Oh.
just doing
Oh
donuts.
my God.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
no exaggeration. I did a Transpac in a TH350, and that was my introduction to transmissions. I did it in a gravel driveway, right? To where I dropped the pan and then dropped the valve body down, and balls are dropping around me in the gravel. I'm like, well, we're screwed. So I went and bought the Transpac, and you take a pencil with a little white grease, and stick them up in there where they're supposed to go. As I'm sitting there, laying on my back under the car with a Chilton's manual, trying to find the spot for the check balls, But like you say, when that thing hit, another neat trick, and you could probably get this, in the TH350, in the forward sun shell, you drill holes 2 inches apart, 1/4 inch holes all the way around, right, for quicker evacuation.
Yeah.
And instead of using 4 GM frictions and steels, use 5 Ford motor. There was some that would cross over that were the same size that would go in, but they were slightly thinner, so you could use 5, and you had like an extra 40% holding power on your forward clutch packs, and the thing would bang. I mean,
Bad.
it hit hard and stuck. You could put a ton of power to it, to a 350, where normally you'd want to run a 400 in it,
Do you want to hear about how we found out the Ford Escape had a dodgy battery? Or alternator, sorry.
By all the lights going out in the middle of the night. Where are
No,
we?
we were pulling into a parking lot at a theme park, and Lisa tried to accelerate and nothing happened. And then her light came on.
Limp mode. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Gonna say the
Yep.
same thing.
No power,
I've,
no acceleration.
I've done.
It starts to cut. It starts to cut the draws. So you get.
Yep. So you can
Yeah.
get where you're going.
Yep. It'll shut everything off.
Oh,
I mean, it starts
Wow.
shutting down.
Rosie had one. Tracy still got it, and those
Yeah,
things
I
will
remember
go
you
into
telling me.
limp mode for a dozen different reasons, easily. Thank you, sir. Last time I put a throttle body into it, which was remarkably fun. It took like 35 minutes to do it. What's up, dude?
Zeke.
Now it's got a problem with a current draw. Brand new battery. If you let it sit for 4 or 5 days, it draws the battery to nothing. And I keep thinking, rather than searching everywhere for this current draw, screw it. I'm going to just put a battery switch on the back bumper. I mean, much easier. Just shut the damn thing off every time you get out of it. Back in the day when we had analog radios, you didn't have to worry about reprogramming your presets every time you disconnected the battery.
Back in my day.
Yeah. When the radio
Yeah, but,
was a tube type.
So we paid for a compact SUV, but we got a free upgrade to a mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
What?
you wanted the small SUV for the fuel mileage. Well, we're going to
Yeah.
give you a free upgrade to a vehicle that gets 40% the gas mileage of the one that you ordered, and we're going to make you think that you're coming out of this to the plus.
Well, I'd rather drive a Ford than maybe not afterwards, but yeah, before that, we would rather. Lisa, she's had like Fords at home for before she had the Minis and stuff. It's more familiar than driving like a Hyundai Kona or
Oh,
a
sure.
Chevy Trailblazer or whatever Jeep. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's a small Jeep? I don't know. There's a small Jeep. But
The
anyway,
Compass.
Renegade or something. Is it Renegade?
No, that's a Jeep. The Liberty.
Patriot? Is it Patriot maybe? Or something?
Patriot, Liberty, yeah.
Yeah, one of them small ones. So we'd much rather drive a Ford because it's my mum's got the exact same car at home, but obviously just the right-hand drive.
Mhm.
So probably the only mistake we picked was probably the fact that it already had 42,000 miles on the clock, which is quite
that's-
high for a rental vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a rental vehicle, it's quite high.
Yeah. See, I
Normally
got
the
into
between's
it
sort of
with
like-
budget for that.
Yeah.
I had
Oh, is this what you ended up-
I arranged a RAV4 because it got like 37 miles to the gallon advertised. I got there, and they said, "Well, we're going to upgrade you to this Bronco Sport." And I was like, "Okay, well, it gets like 15 miles to the gallon less than the RAV4." So you
Yeah.
understand, I'm driving to New York and back. This is going to cost me like $300 more in this vehicle, and that's an upgrade. Okay.
How much is gas where you are, like regular?
Right
to
now
compare fuel
here
prices?
locally around
much?
435.
All right, it's about the same here. What about you, Blad?
I haven't really been out. I think we paid $4.20 something the other day.
Yeah, it's around the same here. It's
Yeah.
like four.
They took
430
the state. They took the state tax off, and now the feds are talking about that. So we pay about 37 cents
A
for
gallon
state
tax,
and then
yeah.
the federal's like 18 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're close to 50 per, 50
Cents a gallon.
50 cents per gallon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our gas never gets cheap.
Yeah, see, when I was here, was it last year or the year before? When it was either last year or the year before, I think it was like $3.99 something, $3.96 or $3.98 or something.
Yeah,
It's gone up a little bit.
I think I paid $4.14 last week at Costco.
Yeah.
Which
I was just looking at the breakdown for the federal tax. Do you know anybody anybody owns a gas station?
No.
No, they don't make but maybe 20 cents a gallon out of all that.
Yeah, I know. It's not their money maker.
No.
The thing about it is 1% of the federal tax goes to basically leaky tanks.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if you own a gas station and you get a leaky tank, does the feds pay for the replacement?
Yeah, does the EPA pay to dig it up and
what-
replace
they're
it?
taking
Yeah.
1%. No, I question this crap because it's 1% adds up
Oh, yeah.
for all over the country.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What are they doing with that money? Do they really help the guy that owns the
Did you
gas
see,
station replace
you know
his
the guy in
tanks?
charge? The guy in charge of the EPA got himself a new Ferrari recently. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of good sense, doesn't it? No, those numbers, add up. I remember
Oh, it does, yeah.
a while back, a story of some kids, math nerds and computer geeks. I think they were around Atlanta, and they were in like 7th or 8th grade, some shit. And they found that a lot of the banks, and all this information is free, around the area were paying interest and dividends down like 6 decimals past the dot, right?
Right.
And so they figured out a way to hack into their system, and they skimmed everything below like 3 digits down,
Right.
where the bank didn't see it happening. And in the period of a year, they made like $140 million
Just from like the
just
the tenth
for
decimal or
thousandths
hundredth.
of a cent
yeah
per transaction kind of thing. To where it works out. I mean, you look at some people like, okay, how much am I making off of my YouTube videos? Not a dime. How much am I making off of my, ad revenue here on Twitch? Not a cent. Right? Because I would have to, for each ad that plays on Twitch, I made like 4/100ths of a penny. Right? Seriously. But yet there are people on YouTube that are making millions. Well, you look at like Vice Grip Garage. Derek will post a video on a Friday afternoon. 3 hours later, there's been almost 1 million views. So, yeah, in 2 weeks, that video is going to make him about $30,000. Like, damn. You know,
Yeah.
you wonder how he's able to do all this? That's pretty much how.
So I met one of my friends over here, and she was telling us about one of her videos that got like 50,000 views on YouTube.
Hmm?
I think she said last year she made $1,000 from a
Right.
video that made 50, and that's probably like her most viewed video kind of thing. And that's like nothing, is it? Like, I mean, that's even like minimum wage for like, I don't know, a month.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's people go on about like YouTube and Twitch and all this stuff, but you make no money. The only people who make money are like people who are already kind of like technically inverted commas famous, inverted commas.
Well, or if you're good looking.
Yeah, which you
know,
own, sadly.
No, Jess, Angel's daughter, she was
right,
making
yeah.
$600 to $700 a month on Twitch.
Yeah.
But she was amazingly hot. You know. So
Don't get creepy.
you know. Oh no, she knows it. I mean, she had quite the appearance online, let's say. Anyhow,
Glad that's just you know.
yeah. Where am I? Oh yeah. All right. Let's see who's doing what here. Is KS still up? He needs to be. Nobody's here. Nobody is
I've got-
here.
I've got Wolf live if you want Wolf. He's playing
Wolfman?
Train Sim.
Train Sim
Yeah,
5.
Wolfman.
Train Sim
Wolf-
5.
Wolfman.
Yeah. Wolfman 759. He's in there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's run over there and find him. There he
Yeah,
is.
so I fly back tonight. So about
Ooh,
so it's 10 a.m. for you guys. No, it's 11 for Bled. My flight takes off at 8:30 tonight.
Not taking Sprint, are you?
Yeah. Take Spirit Airlines.
Or
Not taking Greyhound.
Sprint
Spirit.
or Spirit? Yeah.
Spirit. Yeah.
I did say Sprint, not Spirit.
Or yellow planes. I never knew that even existed until I was on the East Coast on the beach. What the hell is that bright ass yellow plane? What is that?
I flew down to Fort Lauderdale one time on AirTran. Like, who the hell is this? Well, it's the
That sounds
cheapest thing we could find. You know, where you're getting on the airplane and they hand you a flotation device. You're like, okay. You know,
No,
like
it's
a
the
life
plane.
preserver jacket
It's a
thing.
plane where one guy stands outside the aircraft to spin the propeller up.
Yeah, contact! That would be too much.
Yeah, so I land at like 9:40 UK time tomorrow, so about like, I don't know, 2 a.m. your time. No, that's not right. 3 a.m. your time, Singer, 4 a.m. something like that. And
Right on.
5 a.m. for 4 a.m. for Bled. So yeah, hopefully
Very
it's a nice
cool.
smooth flight.
Yeah, you should be
supposed
on
to
the
be-
same time I am.
Yeah, we're 5
Yeah.
hours apart, but Singer.
Mhm.
Oh no, yeah,
No,
Singer's
you
6.
guys are in the same time zone right now.
All right, yeah, we are. Yeah.
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 You're an hour ahead of me. It's only
Yeah.
10:49 here.
The future is horrible. Just gonna let you know.
It's very bright. You've got to wear shades.
Always.
Yeah, mine.
But anyway, I'll probably speak to you when you. I'm not leaving Discord, but I mean, I'll probably speak to you when I get home tomorrow as well, because you'll be live playing Greyzone.
Yeah, you get back home.
oh,
Let
yeah.
us figure out what the heck happened. It was like I said,
I haven't.
There was
I've just
some
looked
sort
at
of
my
attack.
news app and I haven't seen anything. I'll have to Google it.
Well, I said I didn't elaborate. I just said there was a.
I know there was a bad
read some-
stopping
You
like 2 or
guys,
3 weeks ago.
give me just a second here,
Yeah.
so I can call this. We can continue this
Sorry.
after I end the stream and get my butt across the hall into the. Because my legs can only go around each other one more time. But everybody, hope you had a great time. Again, Jordy, good hearing from you. Good seeing you in the States. Bled, KS, thank you so much for being in there for me today. Zeke, I saw you in there. Don't think I didn't see you. You know, I know you're there. Tomorrow,
Work.
we will be running Gray Zone with Zeke if he's up and going. I will be back on Friday morning for the end of the week extravaganza. And we will do that. And we're going to run over and raid out Wolfman 759. Showing some love. He's doing some TSW 5. A step back in time. This ought to be good. Mom, I will see you in just a little while. Until the next one, peace. Have fun. Don't die. Let's click this thing.